Okay, now we're gonna do the Wayne TeBo, or Wayne TeBo is his nickname, lesson plan of making a cake. The first thing we're gonna do is we are gonna draw it with a pencil, which I know is hard to see in the video, so I'm gonna first draw it and then go over top of it with a Sharpie. So the first thing you're gonna have the kids do is draw an oval. So I'm gonna draw it with an oval. You're gonna see in a second why I'm gonna first draw with a pencil. It's because you can't do the whole thing with a Sharpie. You do part of it. So the first step is drawing the plate as an oval. The second step is drawing the bottom of the cake, which is an oval inside of the oval. So another oval inside of an oval. Step 3 is drawing the lines going up from the cake. These are the sides of the cake. Okay, and I'm going to erase these inside lines. You do not have to do the erasing if you have super young kids. You can just let this be. If you have older kids, they sometimes like to erase, so that's an optional step. The next step is to draw an oval at the top. Again, if they want to erase, they can. You don't have to do any erasing. This is just, if you have some older kids, they like to erase, totally not a necessary step. This is, as they start to get older, this is what the older kids like to do. Next thing to do is to draw the cherry. I'm just gonna go straight to the Sharpie for the cherry. You're gonna draw a circle on top with a stem. Okay, now you are ready for painting. I want to show you the trick for putting tinfoil on top of your paint palette. The trick is start by pushing down in the middle of the palette first, otherwise you're going to get holes in your tinfoil. Then you push in, these little circles are called wells. You push your fingers into the wells individually one at a time first, so that you get all the air out of the pockets first. Then you push it around space. So fingers in the individual wells first, so that you get the air in there and out of the little air pockets. Then you wrap it around the edges, and then you wrap it around the edges just like that. The whole point of doing this is less cleanup, especially if you don't have a sink in your room. So then you're going to pour the paint, and at the end of the class you're just going to roll it like this into a ball, throw it right into your trash can. No sink necessary. So it's a nice little trick. All right, then you're gonna pour your paint. You're gonna ask the kids what colors they want. I just pre-selected these 3 colors: red for cherry, pink frosting, chocolate cake. But you guys can pick whatever colors you want. I'm gonna go ahead and pour that, and then we're gonna paint our cake real quick together, all right? Okay, so we've got our paint poured. We're using tempera paint today, which is all washable and non-toxic for your preschoolers. You're going to use 1 paintbrush per color, and that way you don't have to worry about washing your paint in between. Make sure when you're telling the kids to paint that they wipe the paint on the side, and I always tell them to use their other hand to hold the palette so it doesn't wiggle. I'm going to paint with long brush strokes so that the paint fills up the inside of the cake, and I'm making mine chocolate cake, so I'm using brown. If you have a really full class, you might not be able to paint with the kids. If you have a smaller class, you can sit down with the kids and paint with them. If your class is bigger, you can go around and help by holding their hand and helping them paint. You just hold the kid's hand on top of their paintbrush and help them paint. And show them how to use long brush strokes, because otherwise they might do this, and you don't want that. You want them using long brush strokes to fill the space. When I'm done with this color, I'm gonna let my paintbrush sit on the paint palette like that, and then I'm gonna go to the next color. Again, wipe my paintbrush on the side. Come do my frosting. I'm also gonna paint my plate pink to pick up the other color down here. Paint the cherry. If there's more time in the class, what I would do is pour yellow maybe and paint the whole background color yellow to fill the whole page, because I always think filling the whole page is really nice. Use a Sharpie at the end of class to write their kid's name on the paper, and maybe you could write inspired by Wayne TeBo on the picture as well. And that is your picture. Here's an idea of a finished product. So have fun, and make sure you say the name Wayne TeBo when you're talking, and make sure that you repeat that. I mean, they're gonna love it because they always love painting desserts anyway, but make sure you use the name of the artist, so when the parents come into the room, you can say, who did we learn about today? And they can repeat the name of the artist. The parents love this, that they're repeating the names of the master artist that you're teaching, and they'll just eat it up. And then they can take this home the next week because you'll let it dry on the drying rack. Good job today.